All right. Hey, everyone. I hope you're all having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you guys for tuning in. So, this is the third of our Overflow workshop series. And today we have Tony, a software engineer at Miston Labs, who will be going over SuiNS with you all today. So, let me add him. And hey, Tony, feel free to take it away.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Tony, software engineer on the smart contract team, working on various products such as SuiNS, Deepbook, and we're going to be talking a little bit about SuiNS today. So we can start with a quick introduction. So SuiNS is a core building block of the Sui ecosystem. The main role is to simplify how users interact with the blockchain by replacing long, complex addresses with human-readable names. So think alice.sui instead of like a long hex string, which simplifies things a lot. And this doesn't just make things more user-friendly, it also improves accessibility, which can lead to broader adoption and deeper engagement across our ecosystem. Now, we can talk about some differentiation that SuiNS have. SuiNS does more than to simplify transactions. It gives users a way to build and manage their on-chain identities. It has features like subnames and linked addresses, which we'll go into later on. And both individuals and organizations can create structured identities which opens the door like team namespaces, role-based access, or multi-layered dApp infrastructure. So ultimately, this positions SuiNS as a powerful enabler for more innovative, organized, and seamless applications within the Sui network. So just to go over some key features, first we have human readable names. As mentioned before, they replace long, complex wallet addresses with simple and memorable names, which improves the user experience. Subname functionality, this lets users create nested names under a parent domain. For example, a company could own company.sui and then assign subnames like alice.company.sui or other similar names to help with structured identity management. Linked addresses gives users the ability to link their name to wallet addresses, which creates flexibility and control over how users manage their on-chain identity across apps or wallets. For developers, there's developer integration as well, which includes very detailed documentation and SDKs to integrate SuiNS into their apps. And finally, decentralized governance, which has been live since January. Using the SuiNS token, the community can participate in important governance decisions, whether it's about protocol upgrades, fee structures, or feature prioritization. So altogether, these features make SuiNS a robust naming and identity layer that's composable, extendable, and user-first. So now the first step of being onboarded onto SuiNS is registration. To register a name, it's very straightforward. Users simply can just go to suins.io, type their desired name, and check availability using the search interface as we can see here. If it's available, then it can be registered instantly. And on the right, we can see some of the pricing for 3, 4, and 5-letter names. They all have a 25% discount if you use the NS token to register, which incentivizes the use of the NS token while also rewarding early adoption of shorter and more desirable names. And renewal is also very similar. Just like registration, user can go to suins.io to renew their name. The interface is very user-friendly. You can choose a renewal period, apply discounts if they're available, and select NS token to get a 25% discount. And similarly, there are also prices for renewal, which has NS discounts. In the renewal panel, as we see here, users have the ability to set their name as their default. linking to a wallet address, a wallet site, or even an IPFS site, all helping establish a richer on-chain identity for the user. So not only is SuiNS affordable to maintain, it also gives user a meaningful control over how their digital presence is presented. So now let's talk a little bit about subnames. What are subnames? So subnames are like branches under the main name. They're completely free to create if you already have a top level name, which makes them a great option for organizing identities. So for example, if we see the name formats here, if you own at MySuiNS, which is the same thing as mysuins.sui, you can create names like my subname at MySuiNS, or various other subnames as you see fit, completely free of charge. And the maximum nesting depth is 8 levels. If you include the base name and the TLD, then the total max depth is 10 levels. And we can see how some of the name formats will look if you create a subname under your top level name. So there are 2 types of subnames. The node subnames, they act basically exactly like a full SuiNS name. They come with a subname NFT. You can use features like avatars, personalization, and more. We can think of this as kind of like the Web3 version of subnames that are created under your top level name. It gives users full identity control over their subname. And there are also leaf subnames, which are simpler. They don't have an NFT, and their parent name controls them. They're meant to be used programmatically. For example, in smart contracts or apps where you don't need all the personalization. So this is more aligned with kind of like a Web2 subname behavior. A simple example for this would be if Nike has the subname if Nike has the top level name Nike .sui, Nike can choose to give subnames to its users, but without granting them full control over how they can personalize their subname. So together, these subnames give SuiNS the flexibility to support both rich identity and lightweight scalable naming. And now we're going to talk a little bit about governance, a critical part of making SuiNS very community driven. So governance is powered by the NS token, or anyone holding NS can participate through vote.suins.io whenever there's a proposal. And this enables our community to propose and vote on key initiatives like funding new features, improving infrastructure, or refining protocol rules. So this example here shows a recent vote that was passed regarding RFPs, where the community overwhelmingly voted to fund development around SuiNS profiles. So as you can see, the system is very transparent and inclusive, and anyone with the NS token can participate in the SuiNS community and essentially shape its future. And on the right, you'll see staking will be coming soon. And this will allow users to stake NS tokens for potentially higher voting power, and more features will be coming out soon in the near future. So the end goal is basically making SuiNS a community-driven project. So now let's talk about some of the functionalities. First, we'll talk about the Sui Wallet integration. Users can send asset directly to a SuiNS domain. So for example, my domain here at Tony Miston, if someone wants to send assets or NFTs to this domain, instead of using the hex string, which can be very error prone, they can use my SuiNS name, which will limit the error potential and also simplify the transaction. And for Sui ID, every SuiNS name is accessible using via Sui.id domain. For example, if we go to like tonymisten.sui.id, this will redirect users to that wallet's profile on SuiVision. And even cooler, if the SuiNS name is linked to an IPFS address, the redirect will go to that IPFS address website directly. So SuiNS is not just for wallets, it's also a gateway to content and identity as well. So this functionality is really cool and it bridges identity, usability, and decentralization into a single namespace that users can use. And let's talk about Mover or the Move Registry, which is a brand new project built on top of SuiNS that's already live. It's a uniform naming service for developers building on the Sui ecosystem. So instead of copying full GitHub links or addresses for packages, now you can reference packages by name, and Mover will handle the resolution automatically for you across networks. So across mainnet, testnet, devnet, or any other network you want to use Mover for, you don't have to change your code. And we can kind of see how the before and after. If I have a project that depends on SuiNS, before I have to specify the revision, and I'm not sure if there will be bugs in that revision. And if I make any typos in the GitHub link as well, then the resolution will fail. But for after using SuiNS, the setup is much more simpler for depending on packages on chain. It's cleaner, faster, and also reduces configuration errors, which makes developer onboarding and collaboration a lot easier. And if you want to try this out, go to this link right here, and you can set up Mover for your project as well. Cool. And now we're gonna just share a sample project that I built on top of SuiNS, including the Mover functionalities. Um, just a very simple whitelist address list. So the idea here is we use a SuiNS name as a dynamic pointer to a whitelist address. Instead of hard coding a wallet address into a contract or an app, you point to a SuiNS name, which automatically will resolve to the list of whitelist addresses. This can be really useful for things like token launches if you want to allow whitelist addresses to purchase your tokens ahead of time, admin functions, gated features, any system that needs reference to a verified or whitelisted address can go through a human-readable SuiNS name, which makes on-chain interactions much easier to manage and safe overall. So if you're interested in how the full project, you can go to this link, this GitHub link right there. And now I'm gonna just quickly walk through how this kind of works under the hood. Cool. And as we can see here, we have some very simple functions here. So anyone can use their SuiNS NFT along with the public SuiNS shared object, and they can create a whitelist. They can add to the whitelist, and they can remove from addresses from the whitelist as well. And obviously, because the because their SuiNS NFT is part of the param for adding and removing from the whitelist, there's automatic admin control. Only the person that with the NFT can modify this whitelist, and any user can basically retrieve the whitelist ID and check whether or not certain addresses are in the whitelist. So now we can kind of see here. I already have an NFT called mywhitelist.sui that I registered on testnet. And basically we can use this sample project to create a whitelist for myself. We'll have a sample address in whitelist that we will add to this whitelist, which we'll execute right now. And as you can see here, this is another cool feature of Mover. Instead of using the actual address for the package I publish on testnet, because I registered my project through Mover, I can use a simple name to call these functions in my PTP. Just add Tony Miston /sample instead of the full address. And now after we register the whitelist already, any user can go in and fetch and check whether or not certain addresses are in the whitelist. So for example, because we already added this address in the whitelist here, when we created the whitelist, we can basically take a look. The whitelist ID can be retrieved using my domain, which is my whitelist.sui, and any external partner using the whitelist can simply use the domain to retrieve the whitelist ID, and then use the whitelist ID to check whether or not this address here is in the whitelist. And this value can directly be used on chain as well for any smart contract and integration that someone needs to use. So that's all. That's all we have today. If there are any questions, follow-ups regarding anything we talked about, we'd love to hear from everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Tony. And thank you for taking the time to present SuiNS to us today, as well as Mover. Very excited. I think this will definitely increase the user experience and the developer experience for everyone on Sui. We have a question here. This question kind of relates to the user saying that they seem to only be able to create leaf subnames, but maybe you could kind of show them the difference on the portal if you think that would be helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Let me pull up the so we can go here, we can go to the names that I own. And if we click here and we try to create a new subname. So for permissions, we can choose to allow subnames to create additional subnames or allow subnames to renew expiration. This personalization should theoretically allow users to create a new node subname. So I would say if you allow the personalization right here and make sure these boxes are checked, that should be able to create a node subname.
I see. And then otherwise, if you leave it unchecked, that's a leaf subname.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. I do have to double check on that. But yes, as far as I know, that's the case to create a node subname.
Awesome. Great. And then we also had a comment on the pricing, but then you addressed the pricing. So it seemed like the more rare subnames cost a lot, but then it drops off pretty steeply to allow for everyone to be able to use it. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the chat and we can address them here. We'll give you guys another minute to write down any questions you have. I guess in the meanwhile, I have a question. I think Mover is really cool, and I was wondering if Mover is public, and if not, when will it be public, and where can I go as a developer to find this and maybe add my own packages there?
Yeah, so Mover is already public right now, and anyone that want to integrate can integrate already at this moment. It's no longer experimental. We've already onboarded Deepbook and SuiNS onto Mover. If users go to the Mover docs right here, they can see basically all the setup procedure they need. They can either use TypeScript or the Sui CLI to set up Mover for their project for ease for any onboarding that they need to do.
Awesome. Great. All right. It looks like we don't have any other questions from the audience. So again, thank you so much, Tony, for taking the time to show us these features and these products. Yeah, and thank you. And that will be concluding the live session today.
Cool. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Dan.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and stay tuned. The next workshop will be a cryptography-based workshop that Joy from the Misson Labs software engineering team will be presenting. So make sure stay tuned for updates on that, and I will see you guys at that one. All right.